Hi, Miss Powell. This is Pacheco, and I chose the first one manners assignment, which asked me to write 5 questions about what I would ask a biologist about the study of life and the conclusions drawn from their study. Hopefully this is okay. I noticed in Canvas that the only Mind Matters assignment posted was the second option from live class, so I'm not sure there's a discrepancy there. Oh my goodness, I can't talk today. But I thought it'd be fine to do this one. So, without further ado, here's the first question I conjured. What is the actual result of the experiment, and what are you trying to support through this result? This is the first question I decided to ask, and I really, if I was to deeply study one scientist's experiment and the results, especially a biologist, I'd want to understand the relationship between what the scientist did and what the observed results were, and then what theory the scientist is trying to gain evidence for between this. I feel like all too often people can be misled by what is quote-unquote proven by an experiment and what is actually shown through the experiment. So I want to figure out exactly what the experiment showed and then understand what the biologist is trying to support, what theory he's supporting through this result. My second question had to do with how much evidence is there for this conclusion. Now that I've already understand what conclusion it is, how much evidence is there for this in everyday life? Human error is inevitable in any endeavor, obviously, especially science. So, for example, generations of Europeans believed in spontaneous generation because of the errors in the experiments themselves. So I'd want to thoroughly understand what the scientists did in the experiment and be able to analyze whether this process is likely to be repeated with the same exact results, or if it was just some freak incident and there was a mess up in the experiment itself and it's really not an accurate prediction of biological life. My third question had to do with whether the conclusion can stand alone. So I really like this image. I feel like it went along well with the question. I have no idea how somebody figures out how to build a house of cards, but I do know that all the cards will easily fall down if just one card is moved. So similarly, I want the scientist, for one, to consider and articulate how much of his conclusion is built off the assumptions of his worldview. And I want to know how much of this conclusion stands alone from the experiment itself and how much this conclusion is drawing off of presupposed assumptions from other worldviews. My fourth question was, is this conclusion beneficial for the scientific world? Like with Darwin, he took conclusions, he extrapolated too far, and then that has completely changed science, ever since then, in a really dramatic way. So, again, I like house cards, I like these hands. If one person's hand was misplaced, it's going to affect everybody else's. So how does this single conclusion, how's it going to affect future scientists' conclusions? Is it going to throw their conclusions off, or is it really truly accurate and it's going to further science and be able to accurately help other scientists' experiments? My final question was if this conclusion really is appearing to be very accurate and straightforward, how is this going to affect our life? You know, we've been studying worldviews and about how what we believe, either in science or whatever it is, what we're believing really does affect the way we live. So if this conclusion is accurate, how is it going to affect us? It might not directly affect our life, but how is it going to affect what we believe about life? So that was all. I thought the slide was kind of fun. Goodbye, Miss Powell, and we'll see you tomorrow in class. And again, I apologize. I'm so sorry this assignment is late. I definitely should have double-checked the due date. I was assuming it was due tonight, and now that I'm thinking about it, you probably had to do last night since today's President's Day. But I'll make sure I keep a closer tab on when things are due in the future.